Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're taking a look at the battle damaged Plesiosaurus. This figure, to put it lightly, has been a pain in the ass for collectors to get their hands on, but fortunately it's been coming in and out of stock on Walmart's website quite frequently, and the best part is it's being sold on there for just under $7, so I will leave a link in the description if you want to add this figure to your collection. So before we crack this figure open, let's take a quick look at the packaging. You got your Jurassic World logo up in the corner, T-Rex on the bottom, battle damage logo on the front over here, and spinning it around, you get a nice full art picture of the battle damage Plesiosaurus, and a couple pictures of other battle damage figures available in the line, like the new Pteranodon, and the same sticky mullet that we've seen in the same exact paint scheme that we will probably be seeing till the end of time. So with all that packaging nonsense out of the way, let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. And here is the battle damaged Plesiosaurus out of the packaging. So let's start off with a couple quick measurements. This figure is about 2.5 inches tall to the top of the head, or about 6.3 centimeters, and just stretching the neck out like this. It's about just under 8 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout, or about 20 centimeters. So Plesiosaurus in real life was about 11 feet long, so with those measurements, that will put this figure somewhere in the 1/18 scale range. As of right now, there are two Plesiosaurs in the Mattel Jurassic World line, this battle damage one and the Savage Strike Plesiosaurus. And as you can see, even though the figures are the same mold, they are colored completely differently. The battle damage one's main body coloration is almost a sea green color with this dark blue patterning on the back and head, and on the Savage Strike, main body is kind of this yellowish brown with this dark navy blue coloring along the back and head. When you put the figures side by side, you can see, focus in on this, you can see the pattern is different between the two figures, and Mattel could just simply printed the same pattern on both these figures, and I don't think anyone really would have complained, but I do appreciate the extra step to make these two figures a little bit different from each other. For me personally, I much prefer the color scheme on the battle damage one versus the Savage Strike. This color scheme right here just looks more oceanic, I guess that's a word, and natural compared to the Savage Strike one. So if I definitely had to pick one, it would be this one right here. So let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure. You can see the teeth are painted in off-white color. Well, almost all the teeth, these two right here, barely have any paint apps on them. The eye is painted in yellow with a black pupil. But when you spin this figure around, you can see the eye on this side has been misprinted, which seems to be a common problem with the line. I see a lot of people posting online that they are finding a lot of figures with the eyes misprinted like this. I really hope in the very near future Mattel spends some extra quality control making sure at least the eyes are correct. If the eyes aren't right, it just kind of takes away from the whole figure. So getting back to this figure, you can see a lot of nice folds and wrinkles along the neck. Let me just get my lighting back. And then on the back, you can see some more folds and wrinkles and some very fine scale detail. Even the flipper, you can see some very fine scales sculpted onto the flipper, and you can see some of that blue plastic flecks that are molded into this figure. And since we're on the flippers, let's flip it around for those of you that like scanning the code into the app. There it is right there. And then going down to the tail, you can see the tail is sculpted almost like a rudder. Now going on to articulation, the mouth can open and close, and since we're on the mouth, you can see the inside is tongue and the gums are painted in pink. The head can rotate 360 degrees. It can look up, and that's about how far down it can go. And then moving on to the neck articulation, that's the highest the neck can go, and then it can fold all the way down to make the neck parallel with the body. Now the flippers can rotate 360 degrees, but unlike the Savage Strike, there is a hinge right here, which allows you to bend all four flippers straight down. Because of the mechanism on the Savage Strike, you do not get this option. And right here is the battle damage feature, and all you need to do is just push this right here, and you can see what the insides of the Plesiosaurus looks like. And there's a little tab right here that allows you to reset the battle damage. And now going down to the tail right here, there is no articulation on the tail, unlike the Savage Strike. The Savage Strike had a hinge right here that allowed the tail to move up and down, which is kind of weird that this battle damage figure does not have that articulation. I do not know why they left it off. I kind of would have liked to see it there because more articulation on the figures, the better. So let's move on with some comparisons. Here it is with one of the human figures, John Hammond, and I think this Plesiosaurus scales really, really well with the human figures in this line. And here it is with some of the new Primal Attack figures, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Ornitholestes, and in the back right here is the awesome Control and Conquer Carnotaurus. And lastly, here it is with some of the other harder to find battle damage figures, the Monolophosaurus and Proceratosaurus. So now that this Plesiosaurus has become a lot easier to find over the last couple weeks, it does give me some hope that this last wave of Dino Rivals battle damage figures will hopefully see a release in the US, because right now they're being mostly found in Canada, and it would be really great if these figures can get released in the US. I know a lot of people, including myself, gave up hope on this Plesiosaurus that we were never going to see it in the US. I remember, I think it was back in July is when this first popped up on Walmart's website for like 10 seconds. It was available, and that was it. And then, you know, over the last couple weeks, it's been coming in and out of stock a lot, and a lot of people have gotten their hands on it, which I think is just great. So hopefully in the near future, these two, along with the Herrerasaurus, will become much, much easier to find. Final thoughts on this figure. I really like this battle damage Plesiosaurus. I much prefer the color scheme on this one versus the Savage Strike. The size of this figure, it scales pretty well with the rest of the Jurassic World mainline figures. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this figure has been popping in and out of stock on Walmart's app. Link is in the description. And the best part is it's going for under $7, which is much better than those outrageous eBay prices we've seen on this figure a couple of months ago when everyone was looking for this. So that will do it for the review. And as always, if you're liking the reviews on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscribe button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.